Today I have a treat for you, which is Pisco, a liberal and progressive lawyer, fighting Gavin McInnes, a libertarian and the founder of the Proud Boys paramilitary organization, fighting on Tim Pool. So, should be fun. Let's go ahead and bring these fools up and break it down.
At Pisco's hour, I think Trump's fucking up. I think you guys know it.
True! Go for it.
No! My name is Gavin McInnes. I invented hipsters and Proud Boys and Vice, and Trump is winning right now and will always be winning.
That is so cringe. Pisco better mog. He better mog the entire time. He should be able to beat the shit out of them on Epstein, and he should be able to beat the shit out of them on the USAID cuts and the projected dead. It's the two easiest talking points in the history of politics. I hope Pisco just mogs.
This guy's texting.
No, I'm getting the timer ready, guys. I'm the pimp on a blimp. I'm Primetime 99, Alex Stein. You know who I am. Let me hear it out there. Let me hear some love. Tucker Carlson's biological stepfather. And I just want to say I love Donald Trump. I really respect that he's going to protect big booty Latinas by not deporting housekeepers. So I
True. Alex Stein, the most based out of all of these people.
love that. And we must protect them at all costs. And yeah, that's me. And we also have Matan, Evan, guys.
I would just like...
This is one of the best internet personalities of the past 5 years. Not because I even know what he does, but he makes conversations so awkward. It's awesome.
I would just like the security to be careful because I believe that man is gay.
I agree.
He keeps denying.
And he called me out for using heteronormative language. Welcome to the Coliseum, Pisco.
It, but he may or may not have told me in the room over there that he had sex with a dog.
It was a hypothetical thing.
I was asking, I'm not claiming he did it.
Is it gay to have sex with a dog?
It's a whole nother problem.
Was the dog a guy?
Bad habit.
Was it a male dog?
He won't do it.
Mr. Grumpy Pants over here.
I'm here to talk about Trump.
Okay.
Not about fucking dogs. It's telling, I think, that you guys need to distract everything and make it about fucking dogs and fucking buttholes. But we're here to talk about Trump fucking up the country.
Okay, how's he fucking up
Oh, good. Nice.
the country?
Yeah, well, let's start with Epstein. Why isn't he releasing the files?
Well, why didn't Biden release the file?
Why isn't he releasing the files? He promised he would do it. People like fucking JD Vance said that they would do it. It was a campaign issue, and he's fucking it all up, isn't he? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Well, I do think that the
True. Get him.
phase
Yes.
on binders was not good, but we have to be patient because you know that there is a deep state. You know, he can't just release it without
Give me
going.
I'm pretty sure he could, Alex Stein.
a break. He put these people in charge. He put in his own people, Dan Bongino, deputy director of FBI. He put in Cash Patel, these fucking crazies who promised they would release these files, and they're not doing
True.
it. And they're going and they're talking now about like floating a pardon for Maxwell. Are you shitting me? And now you're going to tell us, I bet you, as soon as he pardons Maxwell, you guys are going to defend it because you're shills and you don't want to actually break up your relationship with the White House.
Holy shit. Get him, Pisco. Get him.
Dude, nobody's going to defend the pardoning of Ghislaine
Then why is he
Maxwell.
floating it? Why is he
I don't
meeting with
know,
with his
but-
defense attorney?
If you really actually look at this, though, I think we can estimate, and I don't know this for sure, but that this is classified levels of information that we're not allowed to know.
Bullshit.
Well,
you
that's
didn't
a
care
fact.
about that during the election. It shouldn't matter now. You guys
Well,
really going
look-
to accept, oh, it's classified? It's classified?
No,
Is that
I
a good
want
excuse?
it released.
Let me ask you this. If Ghislaine Maxwell has information that could lead to the arrest of Epstein co-conspirators, should they interview her?
Absolutely.
But what if she says, I will give up all this information, but I want immunity?
Listen, I think that
Honest
people
question.
are like, yeah, the left is kind of over getting crazy about the Queen of the Day immunity stuff. I'm okay with giving temporary immunity if it leads to, indictments down the line. The problem is you can't trust this White House that they're not cooking some deal with Maxwell right now. You couldn't trust them when they said, we have the files, they're on my desk. And then it's, oh, the files don't exist. And then finally, they were made by Obama. No one, not even the most credulous member of this audience believes that Obama made the fucking Epstein files. Give me a break. So we don't.
Even if he did, it's not a matter of whether or not Obama created the Epstein files. It's a matter of whether or not they're true. Like that, you have to understand that, like, if I go on to Twitter right now, I can find hundreds of conservatives. I could actually just post the pedophiles should be fed to wood chipper memes, and I'll probably get 10,000 likes and a billion conservatives posting wood chipper memes in my replies, which is effectively like, conservatives have a virtue signal, which is they hate pedophiles, which is they think that pedophiles should be fed to wood chippers, right? So even in the posts where these characters are sweeping for Epstein, it's endless wood chipper posting, endless kill your local pedophile posting. And it's actually a healthy chunk of comments saying that if Trump fucked kids, he should go down too. This is actually like the one thing that conservatives ate. Not all of them, a substantial amount of them are trying to sweep, but a substantial amount of them are like, no, fuck that. Anybody involved in this has to go down.
Trust the administration. They have no credibility.
That's not true. I believe it.
Should Pam Bondi resign? Yes or no across the board?
I believe Obama made the files.
Should Pam Bondi resign?
That you said something else.
They can only meme because they know that they're dead to rights on this. Pisco already mogged the panel. We are like 2 minutes into the content, and Pisco has already just rhetorically assaulted these people.
Should Pam Bondi resign?
I don't even understand what you're asking me because I'm on the last
I think
topic.
she should be fired.
Let him pass.
Fired.
I
Pam Bondi should be fired?
I mean, I think so.
Do you think that Pam Bondi should be fired?
Well, I don't. Hey, but I don't.
Fatsimo says, what is temporary immunity? It means that while Ghislaine Maxwell is revealing potential criminal co-conspirators involved in her sex trafficking ring, the federal government cannot add additional charges based off of the information proffered. So I'm sure there's exceptions to this and there's limitations. Like if you cop to a murder in an interview, I'm pretty sure you're still getting charged with that murder, even if you have temporary immunity, right? But it's supposed to allow criminals talk about potentially criminal conduct while they're being interviewed about criminal conduct in the preliminary stages of negotiating a deal. So Ghislaine Maxwell was given temporary limited immunity where she was allowed to talk about co-conspirators and other people who had sex with underage girls in hopes that it would reveal more criminal shit. Magnus says hardcore libertarians are sweating in the corner from the Epstein stuff, if you know what I mean. Yeah, because they would love to bang 14-year-olds. True. Common Cure says, is this supposed to be a debate panel or kill Tony? I can't tell the difference. Yeah, probably a combination of both. Now, I desperately need to use the restroom, so I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. Pisco's pissing, though. He's doing good. He already mogged, and it's like 2 minutes into the panel.
Like that Pam Bondi was the Attorney General of Florida when Epstein, when this Epstein
they're
stuff
scared. They're scared to criticize Pam Bondi. They know
I'm
she
not
fucked
scared.
up.
I'm not scared.
You just said
Well,
that
hold
she
on,
should be fired.
wait, Pisco. Of all of the issues to bring up first, this is the one that's actually divisive among the Trump supporters.
This is
yeah,
why
that is true. Hey, Pisco,
Isn't it
answer this. So
divisive?
at least Trump supporters are actually holding our own
I
accountable.
don't think so.
There's a huge split.
I don't think so.
Pisco, there's a huge split within the conservative
Trump
party.
is in the Epstein files. You got us. Okay.
All right. So
Why are you jerking off the second our guy does one bad thing?
So when you
it's
say-
like you caught your dad farting and you won't shut up about
one
it.
bad thing, do you mean when you say you did one bad thing?
Yeah, he didn't
Do you
fuck
mean
kids.
covering up a pedophile ring? Is that what you mean by
it's-
one bad
First
thing?
of all,
just
we were
swimming?
never big on Epstein.
You were
It's-
never big on Epstein.
It's a bunch
Listen
of
to this
guys
guy.
fucking 17-year-olds.
We were
I don't
never
care.
big
Motley
on Epstein.
Crue fucked
Next will tell you
17-year-olds.
this guy isn't
I don't
blue.
think Trump fucked 17-year-olds. I think he was ejected
Then
in the
why
Epstein
is
files.
He lying?
So he's changing
Why
it
is he
because
lying?
he doesn't
Is he
want it to
lying?
get out there.
Is he
'cause
lying?
It's very
Gavin,
embarrassing.
Is he lying?
You
Gavin?
got us.
Is he lying, Gavin?
You got us.
Is he lying?
Yes.
Yes, he's lying.
He's
It's a
lying.
lie.
You're gonna trust.
We
this
thought the Epstein
administration.
files would fuck you, and then we saw you put
So
us
you
in
never
it.
really
So now we
cared
don't want
about
him
it.
out.
So you never really cared.
You
about it.
win this
And so-
tiny little
So
battle.
we can't actually trust this administration on the
Oh,
most
shut
important
up,
issues,
dude.
right? Is there a cabal?
Pisco,
Work
Pisco.
at
Is there a cabal of
And you
Satanist
caught me
pedophiles
fucking up
running
once.
the country? This was an
It's
issue
like
that
January 6th.
you guys
We
brought
fuck up once
that
in
you
100
guys brought
years.
up.
All you do is fuck up.
And
like,
now Gavin
January
says-
6th.
Okay, wait,
January
hold on.
6th.
I didn't bring up January 6th.
Wait,
You
wait,
brought up
okay,
January
okay,
6th.
Well, he organized January 6th,
Yes,
yeah.
Pisco. Let's not get super excited. This is an issue that is divisive among the Trump's base, and it's where you actually can see a split. A lot of people are upset the way he's handling it. There are many people who back Trump who now believe that he may be involved. There's a lot of conservatarians, we call them, they're like libertarian conservative leaning,
What do you believe, Tim?
who believe, I think Trump is likely involved in some way in the Epstein files. To what degree? I honestly don't know. I believe
Should
they
Bondi be fired?
Should who be fired?
Should Pam Bondi be fired?
To be honest, it's a very specific question related to an administration for which I don't have enough information on the Epstein files.
Yeah,
themselves.
because you have to build up your credibility with the White House because ultimately you rely on those relationships. And so you're not going to come out and say what Pam Bondi did. Can you at least admit she blew it? She blew it.
Did blow it with a binder.
Everybody,
I think everybody agrees.
The phase one
binder fuck up.
Because listen.
Yeah.
If we're being honest about what Pam Bondi has done, it is a political question. It is an HR question of whether she is being effective. My personal opinion is she's not, but I don't know what else is going on. And so you're asking me about a hiring and firing decision of which someone I'm disappointed in who's fucked up really
She's
bad.
not doing the job. Her job right now is running just like Tulsi Gabbard, just like Dan Bongino, is to go on Fox News and yap all day. Is she enforcing the fucking law? No, she's not.
Well,
she's doing her makeup and she's going on Fox News. That's her job right now and running cover now.
I'm assuming that he's still annihilating. I love shit shows. All right, scrolling through. Yay for Pisco, let him piss. Let's go on a piss. What the fuck is temporary immunity? I already explained that. Hardcore libertarians. Truth be told, so as far as I know, Epstein, during the 80s and 90s, would travel around in South Florida and New York, and he ran a modeling agency where he would pay girls from flyover states to fly out to New York for modeling gigs. But the modeling gigs were parties with hard drugs and orgies at the end of the day. And then Epstein would encourage the models to sleep with celebrities and to sleep with politicians and his friends. And then the remaining question, because these were like 14-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls, so it was hella illegal, but they probably didn't conceptualize the age of the internet the way that we do now. They probably just thought that they were going to get away with it because at that time you could get away with it. You could pay people off. You could deny that stuff happened. You could have powerful friends in law enforcement and in the government, and nobody would call you out for this kind of behavior. So my suspicion is Donald Trump did participate in this behavior. And so, but so did Bill Clinton. So did Alan Dershowitz. So did Bill Gates, all that stuff. Probably Leonardo DiCaprio. Weirdly enough, he was a teenager in the 80s and 90s, so I don't really blame him for participating in the orgies, but chances are he got diddled and he banged underage prostitutes, right? So that all happened in the 80s and 90s and early thousands. Well, what ended up happening is, of course, the age of the internet. Jeffrey Epstein gets figured out. He's found out, but then he gets that sweetheart deal. So the question is, why did he get a sweetheart deal? Was it because there were a bunch of rich and powerful people who had sex with underage prostitutes that he could implicate, therefore he got a sweetheart deal? Or did he get a sweetheart deal because he was using that information as blackmail and selling that blackmail to intel agencies? Either way, the American people should still know if our most rich and powerful people in the country were engaged in recruiting 14-year-old girls to be underage prostitutes at orgies. We should know that. So we can basically be like, oh, okay, these people are pieces of shit. Not only are we not going to do business with them, we're also going to like exile them from their own financial and political empires. We might incarcerate them and fuck these people, right? That's what a sane, rational, and moral person would do. Now, I'm hungry, so I'm about to eat some chips, but I will mute myself while I eat my chips.
That's why Tulsi is putting in, Obama, the Obama files. No one believes it. It's one distraction after another. They're going to release you the MLK files. Like anyone's going to be distracted. They're going to give this like bullshit theory about Obamagate and the Obama files. Like that's going to distract anybody.
What's
True. And Tim is tweeting about this shit too. Tim is fucking sweeping. Pisco is pissing right now.
About what? The MLK files?
The Obama files.
Well, okay. So the Obama file narrative is bullshit, because there is no contradiction between the allegation made by Obama the IC community.
I think we need to support Trump even if he is Epstein, because he's the only one trying to save the country. You're sitting there.
That's your priority. He's just
I know he's memeing, but unironically, this is the only position you can have, is that I don't care that Donald Trump recruited and sexually molested a bunch of teenage girls in the 80s and 90s. That's the only position that's tenable at this point.
He just said we should.
The Great White Hope.
He just said we should. You guys laugh it off as a joke. You laugh at it.
You're not offering anything
You guys
real.
are no fun.
You're just
Liberals
talking.
are so unfun. You're so upset all the time.
So to
He's
be
gay.
clear, so
This is
now
why
what they're
we're
They can only meme because they're getting annihilated.
winning.
So now what they're saying is this is all just a joke to them. They don't actually care. It's not serious to them. The Epstein issue, it's all
I don't sound
it's
serious
all
to you?
memes.
No,
It's
we're
all memes.
over it.
When they tried to sell it to
over
you,
it.
they tried to sell it to you for years and years. They don't think much of you as an audience. They basically think that you're sheep, that you'll follow them.
to be
Will
fair,
you?
True. Let him piss.
That's
Pisco,
not what I
to
think.
be fair, I literally can't see anybody right now.
Yeah,
no,
it
no,
is.
no. But
I'm not
you're saying, like,
pedantic
that's a
worrywart,
joke.
then I
But
hate everyone in the
so
room.
It's
What the fuck are
pedantry.
we talking
It's
about?
pedantry to focus on Epstein.
They can only meme about it because he's annihilating.
And that's what these guys are trying to sell to you.
That's
That's
not what we're selling at all.
It's a win.
It's
a win.
It's a huge win.
Move
right?
on.
Yeah, okay. So other aspects of Trump. Do you want to move on from Epstein? It's
Well,
still-
I want to talk.
I wouldn't even let them move on that fast. I would actually try to ask them direct questions. I would be like, okay, so you're saying Trump is winning. You're saying Trump is doing a good job. So what do you think about the pedophile cover-up? Do you think the pedophile cover-up is good? And if they say, okay, that's an L, then I would let them move on. But unless they're willing to own the fact that their daddy, their messiah, is allegedly a fucking pedophile, and now that he's in a position of power, he's sweeping up his own fucking pedophilia. Unless you're willing to acknowledge that in public and say it with your fucking chest, I'm not letting you move on. I'm not letting you move on. You know, you will say that out loud into a microphone that either you're taking the fucking L or you're okay with it, one way or the other.
That's why I asked about the Obama stuff.
I'm happy to move on from Epstein.
So let me-
Beer, by the way.
I just,
Is there-
yeah,
Let me start with this.
Hey, we need a beer for Gavin.
Yeah.
Can we get a?
Well, I don't-
Let's start here real quick for Pisco.
Yeah.
The September 18th.
Kay says, no, if you have immunity, you don't get prosecuted unless there are specific caveats in the deal. I do wonder, though, Kay. So, for instance, let's say that I don't know this for sure, but I presume it. Let's say that you're talking about racketeering, right? Like you're a part of some criminal enterprise that extorts businesses for money. You're a part of a criminal organization, etc. But the scope of the investigation is only like theft, shoplifting, extortion, and racketeering. Okay. But then you cop to a murder. Like you're like, oh yeah, I shot Pauly D in the fucking face and I killed him and I buried him back there. I don't know if the temporary immunity, if you're talking about one nature of crimes, I don't know if it extends to all calibers of crimes. And I think that's why the lawyers often negotiate the limited immunity deals for time and for content. So again, like if she's talking about, yeah, we recruited these girls to be models, to be prostitutes. Yes, I did XYZ ABC to groom these girls into sexual favors. Yes, these are the rich and powerful people that I collaborated with. These are the people who engaged in sex acts. I think all of that would be covered by the temporary immunity deal. But if she admits to like murder, I don't know if that would have been covered by the temporary immunity deal unless it was explicit. I don't think you just get blanket immunity for 24 hours to admit to crimes. You know what I'm saying?
2020, ICA stated that that Obama ordered Brennan to release raw intelligence that was not up to their standards for release, as they found it to be highly dubious. The predicate for the narrative that Vladimir Putin wanted Trump to win was.
Think about how small of an issue this is. We're arguing about 10 years ago. Obama told the intelligence community that he wanted a report written favorably to his political perspective. That's the story. As far as I know, unless Tim presents more compelling evidence about a more serious crime, the story is Obama disagreed with the intelligence community. He wanted a politically favorable narrative. He asked a report that would help him bolster his politically favorable narrative. How is that a fucking crime?
A sentence fragment. It was incomplete, and 5 different analysts read it 5 different ways. That's verbatim
false.
from.
That's false.
That's from the
Read
file.
the Mueller report. Read all of the.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Read. Excuse me. You can boo. You can boo. You can boo. You can boo all you want.
But I've seen what makes you cheer.
Robert. You can boo all you want. Robert Mueller.
Hey guys, chill.
Robert Mueller.
You guys are gonna get your chance.
John Durham. Who's John Durham? John Durham is a special counsel appointed by Bill Barr, by your fucking daddy, by Trump. Yeah, John Durham is a traitor. This is.
Oh, so hold on.
This
Honest question,
conspiratorial.
Pisco.
Yeah, go for it.
So is your argument that you are choosing to weigh the word over one man over another man?
I'm weighing the evidence, right? What is the evidence?
True.
So hold on.
So I'll weigh the
So-
evidence.
so
One piece of evidence that you have to deal with is the following: that after the story.
Okay, I don't know if anybody else called this out, but Christian Valeris in chat did. Happy to blame Bondi, but not Trump. Good Tsar, bad boyars to a fucking T. So this is something in Russia. You are not allowed to criticize the emperor during the imperial period. But if you talk shit about the nobles, that's fine. And if you notice the rhetoric around Trump, they're never criticizing Trump. They're never saying, oh, criticize, Trump is keeping the files hidden, or why is Trump doing this? Why is Trump doing that? They're always blaming Bongino. They're always blaming Patel. They're always blaming Bondi. They're never blaming Trump. And so I think it's an instinctive thing because majority of us come from monarchies ethnically. It's an instinctive thing that you can't criticize the king, but if you generalize it to the bureaucrats underneath the king, or if you generalize it to his lords and his servants, that's a general enough thing that you can still criticize the government without getting your head chopped off.
Of grab them by the pussy, the Access Hollywood tape. You guys remember that shit?
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
An hour or so later.
Tossing and
Gavin McInnes is ignoring that the grab him by the pussy comment is made in the light of the fact that Trump is currently covering up a pedophilic conspiracy. If you don't find that repulsive, I think you're dumb. I know we were beating up on the left wing pretty hard this morning with the Hassan tent, but if you unironically think the only way the grab him by the pussy videotape works is if it's an isolated incident and if it's Trump just chatting shit with the boys, right? But when you have him also saying, oh yeah, I used to creep on the American teen beauty pageants by walking into their dressing rooms while they're getting dressed just so I could see their naked teenage bodies, right? When Trump says that shit, when he's boys with Epstein through 2004, when Virginia Giuffre got recruited out of his club, and that's the reason why they broke up. Not because Jeffrey Epstein was banging underage prostitutes in general, but because he was recruiting teenagers out of Donald Trump's club. When there's allegations, firsthand testimony from these women who were recruited by the modeling agencies, who described that the way that the modeling agencies worked, described the way that the parties and the orgies worked, and described Donald Trump being there and the kind of weird sex shit that he would do. You can't just say, oh, it's just banter. Oh, it's just locker room talk when there's like pattern upon pattern upon pattern upon pattern of information. It doesn't work. And you're sweeping for pedophilia, you fucking freak. Gavin, you're being like, I already knew Gavin was kind of a piece of shit. It's surprising to me that he's comfortable being this big of a piece of shit.
Hour or so later, WikiLeaks in coordination with the IRA and the GRU release a bunch of materials just coincidentally the hour after. We have actual like records of these members of the Russian intelligence saying we prefer Trump over Hillary.
We got a fact question here. You said in lead with the IRA and the GRU?
The Internet Research Agency. Have you heard of it?
I'm asking you.
Have you heard of the Internet Research Agency? Yes or no? Okay.
I'm asking you on that point. So I understand you're making the connection to Russia.
Yes or no?
And the GRU, I said as well.
Agreed. What was the so WikiLeaks has never stated where they got the information from.
Yeah, they're lying. I mean, they're liars. But we have the actual communications.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
We have communications.
Right.
Lucifer 2.0.
Okay, just real quick.
Okay, cool. I'm right. Yeah.
The point I'm bringing up is that with conflicting sources, I am not making an assertion of which is right or wrong. I'm just saying you've opted for one source over the other.
I've opted for the actual.
Yeah. Okay. And
evidence, and you haven't contested it, right? Like, here's a piece of evidence.
Well, I am contesting it.
Okay. So do you contest the factual?
I'm saying that there are different arguments as to where WikiLeaks got the information from, and some trust one and some trust another. And I'm not telling you you're wrong. I'm saying your argument is predicated upon one side of that argument. And that's okay. I'm not telling you it means you're wrong. I'm saying it's an important distinction for the audience.
Okay, the other side of that argument is what? What's the evidence that the Russia preferred Clinton? Do you have any evidence for that?
That was in the 2020 ICA. It was.
No,
yes.
I mean, no.
Randy Jenks says, what's the statute of limitations on Epstein Island stuff? I don't know. I don't know if it'd be federal. I don't know if it'd be state. I don't know if it'd be statutory rape. I don't know if it'd be forcible rape. The truth is, though, that we don't have physical evidence. And in my opinion, in order to get secure conviction for the people who did this, you would need an overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence. Because, okay, so there's no semen, there's no blood, there's no, seminal fluid. There's none of that because these, parties happened 40 years ago, 30 years ago, right? And maybe in some cases 20 years ago. So there's no semen, there's no blood. So the only thing you have is whatever photos and videos exist, which I'm assuming that Epstein might have had secret cameras for blackmail operations, but if he wasn't an intel asset, he might not. Although I think that Pam Bondi has said that they had tens of thousands of hours of footage of him abusing girls and creating child pornography. Then, if you have videos and photos, you're good. You could probably prosecute for rape or statutory rape. I'm trying to think of what else. But yeah, but I think that's the only evidence that would actually get a conviction. Otherwise, you need like flight logs and tons of witness testimony. You would need everybody on the island to come out and say, yes, on about March of 2002, I saw Bill Gates come out to Lolita Island. He hung out with Virginia Giuffre, who's dead now, by the way. They were hanging out for 2 or 3 days. I was part of the massage staff or the towel staff or the housekeeping staff, and I saw them engaged in sex acts around then. And then you would need like half a dozen other people to testify that to that as well. You couldn't just go off of one testimony. That's part of the problem with the nature of these crimes.
ICA was clear, as
wait,
was the Mueller report.
There's two ICAs.
At least
that's why I said 2020.
The 2017 one.
The 2021 said
the
that
Senate Intelligence Committee, the House, led by Marco Rubio, Devin Nunes led one. They all come to the same conclusion. And now by the way, you're relitigating this, even though it's already been established, even though in Tulsi Gabbard's own statement, she's acknowledging that the Russians.
Old school coping in my fucking chat. Why wasn't this info about Epstein vitally needed during all 4 years of the Biden admin? You guys didn't give a fuck about Epstein when Biden was in office. I gave a fuck the entire time because I'm not a fucking partisan shill. Old school. Middle finger for your last fucking pussy ass fucking comment that I forget at this point. And then also, how about this? If they raped kids, they all need to go down. You know why Biden didn't release it? Because it implicates Bill Gates and it implicates Bill Clinton. So you have Bill Clinton, effectively Democratic aristocracy that you would fuck over by releasing the files. And you have Bill Gates, one of the world's most rich and powerful people with one of the largest philanthropic ventures on the planet. That's why it didn't get released. I don't care that Biden did a clout political calculation and decided that he didn't want to destroy the Democratic Party along with Trump and destroy Bill Gates along with Trump. I think he should have. I think if Biden was a truly principled man, he would have released the information. But I also think that anybody with access to this information over the past 40 years, they all should have leaked it if they actually had a conscience.
Or at least interfering. Will you at least acknowledge now that Russia interfered in our election in 2016?
To an irrelevant degree.
Okay, you can say it's irrelevant, but people actually contested this for a long time.
Andy B, you fucking loser. I gotta be honest, Pisco looks like a deranged psycho here while the other guys seem chill and fun. Enormous optics, L. They're talking about pedophilia cover-up, you fucking freak. If you start talking to me and you're like, ha ha ha, lol, my uncle, he molested a 13-year-old girl. Isn't that so funny? I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. I'm gonna beat the brakes off of you. Are you fucking shitting me? You're laughing about pedophilia and you're like, it's an optically loser position to get mad about the cover up of a pedophile ring. Are you an idiot? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Unwrite this. Time travel back to when you typed this out and delete it. That was bad. You're stupid. Don't do that again. Jesus Christ. Old school. You have evidence of Trump paying a pedo? You don't? You're just a fucking fanatic asshole. I'm out. Connor's just being a cowardly fascist fuck again. Old school. Number one, you're fucking retarded. Number two, sorry, ableist slur. Sorry, Ken. Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Jesus. Sorry, the disabled people of America. I'm saying that old school is so dumb that he should be dismissed as a person who has opinions worthy of consideration. I do have evidence. Okay. Who is it? Who was it? Jeffrey Epstein was found to be a pedophile in like 2004, and that's when Trump severed his relationship. But Virginia Giuffre was recruited out of Trump's fucking spa in like 2000. So he knew that Jeffrey Epstein was molesting girls and didn't give a shit. Donald Trump has said that you could grab women by the pussy when you're rich and powerful. Nobody gives a shit. Donald Trump talked about how he used to walk into teenagers' changing rooms on purpose so he could look at their genitalia and their boobs and their bodies. He was a judge in various teen beauty pageants. There's a, I forget what this woman's name is. I could probably find it. There's a, it's a pseudonym, but Epstein victim testimony, YouTube. So I know old school's already gone because he's a fucking tool bag. It was like, you're talking bad about my political dad. You're evil, because he's a sides cucked idiot. What is it? Trump victim testimony. Here we go. This girl, Katie Johnson, who's using a pseudonym. Katie talks about how she was a girl, I think from Nebraska, and she was recruited into the modeling agency. She talks about how they threw the parties. She talks about how they recruited the girls, you know, that she's been to the penthouse, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she talks about her sexual liaisons with Donald Trump. Now, maybe she's a liar. I have no idea. But what I would say is that let's find out, right? Let's find out. Let's release the pictures. Let's release the videos. Let's release the flight logs. Let's release the, the penthouse security camera. Let's find the other girls who were teenagers in the 80s and 90s, and let's see if there's half a dozen to a dozen of them who all say that they had similar liaisons with Donald Trump, and they're all independent witnesses. And what I would say is they probably did. Those things probably exist based off of the totality of circumstances. And you, because you're a sides-cucked tribal political fucking loser, you're ignoring the evidence that's right in front of your fucking face because you've bought into the idea that Donald Trump is some kind of political messiah because you're an idiot. So good job being a loser in my chat for this long. I'm surprised I didn't ban you before. I'm not even going to ban you now. But that's only so you can suffer. I hope you watch this video again and you realize that you are a tribal, identitarian, loyalist loser. And by identitarian, I mean you've identified with MAGA and you've identified with Trump so hard, you can't even look at evidence that he's probably sweeping for a pedophile ring, that he's probably a pedophile himself, and you're ignoring the evidence because it's inconvenient to your worldview. Good job, you dumbass. And by the way, fascism, cowardly. There's nothing cowardly about what I've done. There's nothing cowardly about what I've done. If anything, plenty of people fucking hate me because I've actually taken a principled stance against Republicans despite previously being a Republican. I guess in many ways I'm still philosophically a Republican, but the Republican Party has abandoned all of its principles. And then fascism, because you don't watch the stream and you're a fucking idiot, is flexible authoritarianism and political corporatism. What the fuck does Donald Trump being a fucking pedophile and you ignoring the evidence have to do with fascism? You actually might be 80 IQ. I invite you to stop talking about politics. Go talk about something else that's like more your speed.
I prefer Hillary because Putin wants chaos and Hillary would be bad for America, and that's what he wants.
Okay. So the 2020 ICA pointed out that Hillary was sick, and there was some analysts that believed having a sickly, coughing, Hillary, of course, was on some medication. They said she had pneumonia. She collapsed outside of the World Trade Center memorial event. And one of the arguments, this is from the ICA report, Putin wanted her because she was unstable and was concerned about an aggressive Trump. But
who cares? Test Dummy, thank you for your donation. 100 sec. Thanks for today. Got to go on my evening. Take care, y'all. Well, thank you for hanging out, Test Dummy. I appreciate you. Be sure to like the stream, engage with chat, comment on the VODs, watch the VODs, super chats if you got them, memberships if you got them. I parasocially love you. Thank you for being here.
We don't know because the initial raw intelligence in 2016 was a sentence fragment that Obama determined, despite not meeting the standards of the intelligence community, would be published anyway, for which over the objections of members of the IC.
Yeah, no.
Think about how nuanced and informed these people are on Obamagate, which again is Obama saying like, hey, I disagree with the intelligence community. I think that this narrative is politically efficacious for me. I want you guys to highlight the fact that I think that Russia wanted Trump to win, and I want you to generate some reports that help support my narrative, which is effectively politicizing intelligence reports. Think of how small potatoes that is to covering up a pedophile ring, and think about how much more interest Tim Pool and Gavin McInnes and Eton or whatever his name is. Think about how much more nuance there being in reference to this Obama thing than the pedophile thing. It's because they know they have an L. They're holding an L right now.
That's what was released
to a particular
in 2020.
subset of evidence. I mean, and
I agree, I am, and I'm not saying one's right over the other, but you are choosing one is correct and ignoring the evidence.
Yeah, so I'm choosing, if we're just doing this based on who do you trust, right? So you're trusting
the ICA.
Russia over John Durham.
Oh, AF Racing brings us up too. And why on earth did CEO Trump know Virginia Giuffre by name? If it was just like, oh, some girl from the spa got recruited by Jeffrey Epstein, the girl is fired, and Jeffrey Epstein is banned from the club. If he wasn't paying that much of attention, if he wasn't boys with Jeffrey Epstein, then he wouldn't know shit about the details. He would have been like, yeah, Jeff's a fucking pedo, makes me sad. He's not my friend anymore. Fuck that guy. And then he would move on with his life. And then the woman he fired, or the woman who quit the club in order to go work for Jeffrey Epstein, he wouldn't know, right? He would just be like, oh yeah, I lost an employee to Jeffrey Epstein being a pedo, gross. But he knew her by name. Weird.
For Robert Mueller over the overall
Fact check
conclusion of the State
false.
Department and
the 2020 ICA was the United States.
Evidence. And it's
there
all to
are
distract from
two
Epstein.
intelligence committee
so
assessments.
now we're relitigating the 2016 election instead of talking about Epstein because that's what Trump wants.
True. Jazz hands for Pisco. He's doing a good job.
Wants you to do. And those are your marching orders. I mean, like
Stefan Velkov says, Connor, you should be there too. Dude, I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on, bro.
But I'm happy to move on from Epstein if we can just acknowledge it's uncomfortable to continue talking about it.
Will you concede? Will you at least concede that you look like Adrian Tomine, who was locked?
You can only joke because you can't deal with what's being said, Gavin. You pussy.
Locked in an Arby's for 3 months.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
Okay.
It's all memes to them. It's all memes.
Admit it, Pisco.
It's all memes to them. I mean, like,
well,
this is your
we're trying
country.
to have fun.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you like Mike Pence?
Do I like him? No, I don't like.
Okay, so we're in agreement. I don't think Trump is winning until Mike Pence. How about that?
Okay.
I can't see anybody.
Trump appointed him.
I can't see anybody because of the lights here, but I would like to see a raise of hands. Who thinks Mike Pence should?
Yeah, you're saying that.
I didn't say that. I said the.
Is a reference.
No, dude, think about how uncomfortable this is. Center-right libertarian who started like the Proud Boys, which I argue is like a militia that likes to fistfight Antifa. You got Alex Stein, the MAGA comedian simp, whose only exception to criticizing Trump is that he doesn't want big booty Latinas. You have some random schizo YouTube political person. You're bringing up that the federal government is currently sweeping pedophilia, and all 4 out of the 5 people continue to sweep for pedophilia in front of an uncomfortable audience of dozens of conservatives. God bless you, Pisco. Despite me using homophobic language and yelling at you and using bad words at you, God bless you for your service to mankind.
Winning is this event.
What, Game of Thrones?
Reference to Game of Thrones.
They shut it down, and then everyone who wanted to see this said, don't shut it down, and we had it back. I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, so guys, give yourselves a round of applause for being here. They tried to.
What does that have to do with the fact that Pisco's trying to get a concession from them that it's awkward because he keeps bringing up Epstein and they keep sweeping away?
Shut it down. They brought it back up.
Let me say.
Magus brings up a good point, though. Technically, semen, blood, and DNA analysis is circumstantial evidence in forensic science, but I know what you mean. You would need an overwhelming amount of evidence. And Magnus, I want to reaffirm this point because it's important. So for instance, if somebody claims rape and you do a swab and you find semen, that's only an indication of sex. It's not an indication of forcible sex. You would need context clues besides that. You would need bruises, signs of strangulation. You would need, I'm trying to think of what else. You would need cuts. You would need defensive wounds. You would need witness testimony. You would need toxicology. So Magnus is right that technically, like physical evidence is like blood, semen, all that kind of stuff. And I say physical, meaning that it's like manifested in the physical world. It's technically circumstantial because it doesn't prove that a crime is being committed. It proves an underlying fact that might support the crime.
It's because it's a side question of the question of what Trump's administration is capable of. But in the culture war, I think it is fair to say perhaps we haven't won, but we have an insurmountable advantage on this battlefield, with an example being after the event was polled, I got on the phone with Alex Stein.
Well, Gen X says forever. Child sex abuse is forever. Sometimes it really is forever. Good luck getting victims to testify, though. Most don't want to be identified publicly. Well, and think about this, too, okay? I'm not trying to be crass, and I'm not trying to be vulgar. But just try to empathize with women for a second. Let's say that you were a 14-year-old from a flyover state, but a lot of people thought you were pretty in your town. And then rich and powerful people say, hey, fly out to New York. You are so pretty that we want you to do a modeling gig, right? And we want you to come out to this party with fancy, rich, and powerful people. And this is the 1980s. So this is before the internet. So you don't have like social media to really be incredibly aware of how manipulative and evil and fucked up the world can be. This still happens today. And we know how manipulative and fucked up the world is. So this is before that era. And so you get recruited out to New York, and then some charismatic man meets you, and he's like, hey, you know, like, yeah, you're beautiful. We think you have a lot of talent. We're looking forward to working with you. You know, we'll do this, we'll do that. We'll do a photo shoot, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, on Saturday night, you know, you're here for the weekend. We're going to have a party. And plenty of rich and powerful people are going to be there. So it's like a great networking opportunity. And all I really need you to do is walk around, be nice, be friendly, et cetera, et cetera. And you're like, oh, okay, sweet. Like, yeah, I get to meet rich and powerful people. I get access to money, clout, and influence. I get to hang out with, you know, I'm being recognized for my talents, which, let's face it, it's the talent of being hot. But isn't it nice to be considered hot? Yeah, of course. And like you're 14 or 15. So you've never seen this kind of money before. You've never seen this kind of clout and influence before, right? And so then you go to the party. Party's fine. They let you underage drink. You get a little tipsy, whatever. But then afterwards, like half of the guests leave. And then some of the girls that you've been partying with and hanging out with, they start to pair off with some of the men and start doing sex acts. And then the madam or the charismatic man, they say, hey, yeah, like we're paying you tons of money. You know, you're a good looking gal. Why don't you go hang out with that guy? Some girls are going to say no. Some girls are going to say, you know, no, I'm a Christian. I'm saving myself for marriage. My parents didn't raise me that way, et cetera, et cetera. Those girls don't get invited back to the party, right? But the girls who are desperate, the girls who want clout, money, and influence and a modeling career, they might tell themselves like, yeah, this is kind of fucked up. I'm being manipulated right now, but I'm more interested in the clout, money, and influence than I am in caring about being manipulated. So I'm going to go for it. And then they go hook up with a guy that they don't want to hook up with. They engage in sex acts effectively for money, rendering themselves into prostitutes. And then since they've crossed that moral Rubicon River, where they were effectively recruited and groomed as 14-year-old girls into being prostitutes for rich and powerful people, well, they made a shitload of cash and they did meet a lot of interesting people and they kind of did have fun at the party. So maybe it's not that bad. And then boom, you've basically recruited, groomed, and child sex trafficked a minor. So that's where this whole manipulation is so insidious from the manipulator standpoint, but from the manipulated standpoint, there's small red flags that you might continue to cross, even though you know that it's bad for you. And that was the interesting thing about the testimony from Donald Trump's victim is that she went back multiple times. The process that I just identified for you, recruited as a model, flown out, shown to a party, plied with alcohol, encouraged to have sex with rich and powerful people. She not only did that, she went back multiple times because she still wanted access to rich and powerful people, clout, money, and influence. And she justified it to herself. And she didn't tell her parents that she was being groomed and sex trafficked because she didn't want them to prevent her from having this opportunity. So that doesn't make her not a victim. That makes her a dumb 14-year-old. That doesn't make her predators less criminal. They are actively recruiting easily manipulated young girls to have sex with. So that's where old school freaking the fuck out and all these people sweeping for it is actually quite repulsive to me. It's actually disgusting. If I had a teenage daughter and you did that to my teenage daughter, I would fucking kill you, right? I would fly to Manhattan. Like, let's say Donald Trump or let's say Jeffrey Epstein recruited my 14-year-old daughter to fly out to orgies in New York. I will go to prison for several decades because I will fly out to New York City and I will gun you down for sex trafficking my daughter. And that's why they target girls who don't have fathers, because they know that men in their life, women with brothers who are vengeful and protective, women with fathers who are vengeful and protective, they're not as vulnerable. And so they target women who are alienated from their families, alienated from their fathers, and alienated from their brothers because they know they'll avoid a violent consequence for exploiting a 14-year-old girl. It's fucking evil, dude. It's some of the most evil shit that I've ever heard in my life. And the fact that half of these people can joke about it repulses me. It does make me disgusted that Gavin McInnes and Tim Pool are sweeping for it. I think they're actually like, I think they're selling their souls. I think they're selling their souls for a pot of gold. Not even a pot of gold, for a purse of gold. They're selling their souls.
And screaming that they got us. And Alex said, we'll never get the show back. Then the next day, within less than 12 hours, we got the show back, all three of them.
That's because of you guys. Thank you.
But you know, we were talking about this, and we did an event in, I think.
Severin says, check out the articles about Robert Maxwell being an intel asset. I'm aware. I'm just holding out the possibility that maybe Epstein was just doing it for his own ends and to party with rich and powerful people. But I do know that Robert Maxwell was a triple intelligence asset for Israel, the United Kingdom, and for Russia. So I'm aware.
I don't know if Sean, it was 2019 maybe. And far leftists threatened to burn down the theater in Pitman, New Jersey. And so the guy, even though we had the venue booked for 9 months and a contract, canceled on us and told us to go fuck ourselves. And we were actually pretty shocked because, like, okay.
Why do you actually believe the conspiracy instead of it's actually nothing? We should nail Trump because his side made it a big deal, but nothing actually points to the conspiracy. Mookery, if you have testicles or ovaries, go ahead and take out your testicles and put them on a table and smash them with a ball peen hammer. Do not procreate. Don't. It's actually nothing. We should nail Trump because his side made it a big deal, but nothing actually points to the conspiracy. I literally just described for you beat for beat. I understand I'm late in chat, so maybe don't destroy your balls with a ball peen hammer if you have balls. However, the sex recruitment testimony that I just described, the whole dynamic that I just described, there's eyewitness testimony. Virginia Giuffre testified to a similar recruitment strategy. We know there's a sex trafficking ring. We know the sex trafficking ring is covered up. We don't know if it's related to intelligence agencies because Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, was involved in intel. And we don't know why Jeffrey Epstein caught a sweetheart deal, but we know he got a sweetheart deal. The only element missing from the conspiracy is the intelligence agencies. So don't tell me there's no evidence. All right, let's not get triggered. Let's get back into the content.
You want to face a lawsuit? And he goes, fuck you, sue me. And we were like, damn. The issue was there was a genuine fear that you will be murdered by the far left and they will destroy your life, take your home. They can stand in front of your house with fire bombs and nothing can be done about it. You can't.
Bullshit. If somebody stands in front of your house with firebombs, you can shoot him to death. What are you talking about? I hate this. I hate it when Tim Pool sweeps.
Defend yourself with a weapon in New Jersey. But now the sentiment has shifted to where we're seeing Colbert get canceled. We're seeing, you know, we call it the Bud Light effect. Culturally, whether, and again, this is a side issue to the whole Trump thing. Culturally, I think we own the battlefield right now.
And I think that you guys are making excuses for how Trump is using the authoritarian powers of the state to contribute to that culture war. So, for example,
He should become the king.
So, for example, Trump.
Whoever said that they should smash their testicles with a ball ping hammer.
Trump is now like putting conditions on the curriculum of Columbia to be more pro-Israel. Do you guys agree with that?
What are the conditions?
So the conditions, for example, that they need to check to make sure that everyone is, not treating Israel differently than they would treat other countries, making sure there's no anti-Semitism curriculum, which,
they were beating
who's going
the
to decide
shit
that?
out of Jewish students, harassing them. They were attacking janitors.
So you're acknowledging that you agree with the government getting in there and deciding what's fit for the curriculum of Columbia.
They're taking government money. They're taking government money, and Jewish kids are getting harassed and having to lock themselves in rooms.
So you're okay with it?
Getting
Yeah,
attacked.
I'm fucking sick. It's sick that Trump is going in there and make all the curriculum more pro-Israel. Yes or no?
He's
Do
going.
you agree with that?
You can't have my money if you support.
If you're not
terrorism.
pro-Israel, if you're not
Pisco,
pro-Israel, right?
Pisco.
Is that right? Is that right?
Pisco,
Is that right?
This will be an L.
You can't get the money unless
Stop
you're
with that
pro-Israel.
gay, like,
But
I have
that's
to
not the
phrase
point.
it
You
your
won't
way,
answer
and you go,
it.
is
You
that
won't
right?
answer
Is
it.
that
You
right?
won't answer because
This is like college shit.
What Gavin
I'm going to
wants-
answer your
what
point
Gavin
right now
wants
for
is
you,
everyone
Pisco.
to be pro.
Pisco,
Yeah, let the other people answer, Pisco. Jesus.
I'm going to answer
Israel.
you. I'm going to answer you.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be forced to be pro-Israel. But if the question is like an institution is discriminating against a group based on race or ethnicity, then the government should intervene to stop that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I mean, you kind of sound like the woke
Think of it
schools.
as like a
You
white power rally with all these texts.
Yeah, that's
saying
a,
blacks go home. All blacks need to. You can't have government money if you do that on campus.
So this is the
That's
same.
what that was.
This is the same argument. What people were
my
talking
position
about
has never changed on this.
cancel culture and free speech on campus when like schools are restricting because they went too far. I agree with that. In terms of,
I want to pause.
in terms of being woke.
Pisco,
Now you're saying
Pisco,
racism matters only with Israel.
could not appreciate his honesty more. That what you have always supported and what we have always opposed was the use of violence against ideas you did not like. So when I see, far leftists showing up, we got protesters outside right now. Like threatening,
They should be arrested.
No, it's bigger than that. There's two groups.
Oh, they're now.
Yeah.
Put them in jail.
When leftists threaten
Larry gifted 5 Valor Media Network memberships. Thank you, Larry Hutchinson. Appreciate you, King.
to murder me and my family, and they do, that's a problem.
They do murder you and your family?
Threaten to.
Oh, okay.
Wait, Tim, I totally agree. They should unburn the Tesla. They should unburn the Waymos. I don't agree with.
Who the fuck is this guy? I'm assuming he's a fucking. I'm assuming he's like this guy's orbiter or whatever. But it is funny that they literally just got a schizo to stare into the camera in the back of the panel, and he hasn't moved, and he's just staring into the camera. Bruh, I want one of these. Can I get a schizophrenic bodyguard who just stares at the camera without blinking for hours at a time? That is awesome. That's when I'm going to know that I've made it as a creator, is when I can hire somebody to go to my IRL debates and just be a schizophrenic standing behind me. That is awesome.
Unburn the Waymos. I don't agree with that shit. I mean, I'm not in favor of violence.
So if there are people at a university and they're targeting any racial group or ethnic group, it is the job, in my opinion, of government to be like, hey, our law enforcement will not let you do this.
Enforce the law. That doesn't mean you need to put speech codes in every fucking university.
That's
the law.
why
There's not speech
we have laws.
codes,
We have
bro.
laws against harassment.
They did not enforce the
Come on.
law.
Have you
They
read the
took
letter to
over
Harvard?
buildings.
Wait, hold on, Pisco.
They beat the
Wait,
shit
hold
out
on,
of
hold on.
Mhm.
This is.
Just
I
like those
just
Jan 6
realized
boys,
something.
huh? Just like those Jan 6 boys.
I just realized
What did
something.
Jan 6 boys do?
They beat up police officers, didn't
That's
they?
a myth, you
Oh,
fool.
it's a myth.
Oh, dude, I could go find videos right now of rioters beating the shit out of cops. Whether or not Proud Boys did it themselves, I have no fucking idea, but I'm assuming Pisco's going to nail them with it.
Yeah, it's a
myth that
total
they
and
attack
utter
fucking
myth.
Who died?
Cops.
Ashley
You know who
Babbitt,
died
Roseanne
that day?
Boylan?
Who died is not the same question, you idiot. You think we can't see you? This is my problem with a majority of audiences. Not you. You beautiful souls who are hanging out with me today. You all have 3,000 IQ. You're all well endowed. You all track the arguments. You understand what's going on. But when the accusation from Pisco is, Proud Boys beat up cops, Gavin McInnes says, that's a lie. That's a myth. And then he follows up with the question, who died. That's not the accusation, you idiot. Only morons would see that as a counter argument. That's actually wildly stupid, Gavin. I think you've lost your touch.
He died.
No,
Conservatives died.
I didn't
no
say,
officers were beaten that day. No officers.
That's a lie. I can go find videos of cops getting beaten up. So you're just lying.
really?
Died that day.
So-
That's all a lie.
So just to be clear, so it's a lie that you saw with your own eyes, cops being beaten by Jan 6 terrorists. And he's
Horse
saying, so I
shit.
didn't say die, I didn't say kill.
Okay.
So
all
right now you're defending the terrorist scum who attacked cops on Jan 6.
Terrorist scum,
and I can
really.
tell-
True. They're using violence for a political end. 100%. Gavin, get wrecked, loser.
That hit a nerve.
Guys, I'm considering ending the show.
Why?
Because Pisco admitted Trump is winning on the Columbia issue.
Why is he winning? You think he's winning?
You literally just said that Trump is imposing these restrictions and
you did say they
forcing
went
his
too
will
far.
on the university. So is Trump winning? Yes.
So
Thank you and have a nice day, everybody.
I think that
It's only because you got mogged for the first 20 minutes, bro. You got annihilated for the first 20 minutes. Like, listen, I want to go back on a Tim Pool. I like flying up to West Virginia. I like having conversations and debates, blah, 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 blah. But there, dude, sweeping for Epstein was an L, absolute L.
I think that campus lefties definitely went too far. And I was writing in my student newspaper saying like, let kids wear sombreros. All right. I'm Hispanic and people called me like an Uncle Jose because I was like, I don't care about ponchos. I don't care about sombreros.
wrong.
Like I'm cool with all that shit. But what we're talking about something different is the government stepping in and saying, hey, have you read that letter to Harvard, by the way, where like you have to have a monitor to check whether there's anti-Semitism? This is literally campus police. And you guys should.
Dude, Randy Chang says, my parents in their mid 70s totally took it was a different time back then defense over all this underage debauchery stuff. Dude, I would freak the fuck out. If my Christian conservative parents made excuses for 14-year-old sex trafficking, I would freak the fuck out. And I think I would actually yell at them. Because my parents like raised me like super conservative, like when it came to like sexual mores, and basically like, dude, there's no way in fuck that you are raising me to be like, you have to court a girl slow. You got to hold her hand. You got to make sure that she actually wants to kiss. If you guys go to the movies, then I'm going to be your chauffeur when you're like 14 or 15. My parents actually went out of their way to make sure that I didn't get anybody pregnant until I was 18. But like they made some moves. And by the way, I made some counter moves. But they went out of their way to make sure that I was not getting anybody pregnant. So if they start sweeping for 14-year-olds getting sex trafficked, I will freak the fuck out. I will start screaming.
Care about it if you care about
Yeah,
free speech.
I think that's dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb. And
I don't like the idea that
Andy B says, today is IG girls getting flown to Dubai to have horrific things done to them and paid to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I hope those girls are at least 18. And in the case of Europe, I hope they're at least 16 because Europeans are pedophiles.
I think it is fair to say that while there is a surface level principled argument on you shouldn't run a university that targets any
Poster says, I'm not being sarcastic. I truly appreciate it. Subscribe. Thank you, King. Appreciate you.
group of students based on their race or ethnicity, it is pretty obvious the State Department was pulling visas from people critical of Israel.
100% they were. And they were doing it to Mahmoud Khalil. And did you support Mahmoud Khalil? In that conversation, you were a little waving.
Starhawks for $5. Just gave a big presentation to my lab and collaborators that went well, and I'm seeing ghosts tonight. Here's your windfall from my good mood. Thank you, Starhawks. Thank you for the donation. And then Christian Blairs, you're saying I'm Fed posting. I'm just telling you, like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, look, I'm so edgy and cool because I'm saying that I'm going to do this. Blah, 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 blah. What I'm trying to say is the law is the law. Okay? The law is the law, and I believe the law should exist. However, if you hurt me or mine, justice is not always served by the law. And so if I have to enact justice or vengeance, then being held accountable by the law is an acceptable possibility to me. That's fine. I'm okay with it. Like 3 hots in a cot, man. Like what? I have to read books and not get sexually assaulted myself for 10 or 20 years. And realistically, if it's a self-defense scenario or if it's a sex trafficking scenario, I'm probably going to catch like murder 2 or manslaughter because my daughter was sex trafficked, and then I took actions on the people who were sex trafficking my daughter. Yeah, I'll take 5 years in a state penitentiary for that. That's fine. That's a fair deal.
Do I support him in what capacity? I
In the
think
sense
that
of he should not have his green card taken away because of his statements.
Yeah,
Well,
you understand? You guys are done with free speech. Like you made me into a hypocrite. I want leftist bands canceled. I want leftist shows canceled. You cancel our shows, I want your fucking shows canceled. You monitor our speech, I want your speech monitored.
It's this victim
I want
narrative.
revenge.
You guys really buy this? Yeah.
Okay, so you want fascism because you're dumb as fuck. Got it. Got it, Gavin. Thanks for being a useful idiot once again.
I'm done with altruism.
This is about.
I'm a hypocrite now because of you. You guys opened the Pandora's box of censorship, so now I want you censored.
And so now Israel controls
don't
everything.
talk.
So now Israel controls.
I don't want you talking.
Yeah.
I want you censored.
True.
So now Israel controls everything. I mean,
Okay, but come on.
Anti-Semitic, but okay.
Wait.
Blaming
Pisco,
Israel. I don't know why you're talking about Israel now.
Well, because the speech codes and the speech, I don't know if you want to call them codes.
Yeah, it's
the
almost
conditions-
impossible to be
the con-
anti-Semitic on campuses these days.
Hang on a second. Do you think that anti-Semitism is protected speech, should be protected speech in this country?
Yes.
Yes.
There is nothing that prospers more in America than anti-Semitism.
That's not answering the question, Gavin. Stop dodging.
You can go anywhere. It's the cool thing to do with young people.
Should it be legal?
And they all wear kafayas. We got Muslims outside that
Answer the question, Gavin.
are mad at him. I don't even know,
I don't know why.
He insulted Muhammad or something. So
Should it be
I don't
legal?
think there's a real problem
allowed, yeah.
with anti-Semitism
You don't?
being wiped
Banned?
out. It's fucking everywhere, bro.
So he would throw you
It's
in
the cool
jail
thing to
for
do
anti-Semitism.
because it's anti.
Okay, but principally, should you be able to be anti-sympathetic, hostile to the state of Israel?
White.
And what are they going to define as anti-Semitism next? If you oppose Israel's intervention in Gaza, that's anti-Semitism.
I will add to Gavin's point. I don't know that I would go as hard with it the way he's describing it, but we have talked about how my position.
Skeptical one says, how much are you paying? Does the job have benefits? No benefits. You're a 1099 contractor, but I'll pay. If you have to stand there and stare into a camera and blink as minimally as possible and move as minimally as possible, I think I'll happily pay like 25 to 30 bucks an hour for somebody to do that. Like no, I don't have I don't even have the resources to do that now. But let's say that I was making like a 6-figure income. Let's say that I was making like 100 grand. And I was doing like half a dozen events per year, and I was able to help out with travel. Yeah, I would pay 30 bucks an hour for somebody to stand there and look like a fucking psycho.
My position on free speech has changed slightly in that in the 2010s, I would do this thing where I'm like, look, I don't agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it. And then I realized
Yeah, I'm
something.
done with that.
True, and that's principled, and you are cowards for abandoning this principle.
I was handing weapons to the people trying to destroy me. And so I said, revision.
Oh, the friend-enemy distinction. Amazing.
I will defend your right to speak so long as you agree with my right to speak. But if you are a communist or Marxist or fundamentalist who wants to strip rights from other people, I will not defend you in any sense.
Perfect. I'm actually okay with this addendum because this is how I feel about fascists. Sure. If you're a jihadist who wants to eliminate free speech, fuck you. If you're a fascist who wants to eliminate free speech, fuck you. If you're a communist who wants to eliminate free speech, fuck you. Absolutely. And it's not that like this changes my legalistic perspective. It just changes my cultural perspective. I'm not gonna wake up. You remember that fascist from the Mehdi Hassan thing who was like, lol, I am a fascist. Ha 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 ha. I do want all brown and black people to go back to their countries. Ha 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 ha. I don't think Nazi Germany did anything wrong. Ha 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 ha. You remember when that guy got fired from his job? Yeah, I didn't tweet anything because I didn't care. Right? Legalistically, I don't think the federal government should do anything to him, but I do not care that he got fired. I don't care.
The problem with the First Amendment is I think it is often conceived as an individual right. And I think that it should be better thought as a restriction on the power of government.
It is.
Right? What does the First Amendment say? Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech. And so when you make the right of free speech contingent on how other people treat your right, I think you're missing the point of the First Amendment, which is saying that we don't trust the elites. We don't trust the government shills to decide for themselves what is anti-Semitic, what's fit for consumption, and what's not, except for in narrow categories of things like, you know, illegal pornography, things like harassment, things like defamation. Those categories are historical exceptions. But broadly, we don't trust the government.
So
with that.
True.
Let's agree on the fact that Trump is winning in that regard.
Beef Supreme gave me 3 purple hearts, saying purple hearts is the badge of taking psychic damage for chat. Thank you.
It's nice in an ideal world.
Trump is getting through his agenda. The universities are forced to do it. He's taking money from these universities. His will is
well, if
being
he's successful
done.
at bad things, and that's your like gotcha. Oh, he's doing really well at doing like authoritarianism against first speech. Okay, I guess he's successful at doing something.
But let's weigh that between what the left was doing versus what Trump is doing. And I'm just like, oh, this old game again. So if the question is Trump winning in that regard? It's like you don't have to agree with him, but he is winning.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, he's winning at doing something bad. If that's your like.
Thank you for coming.
Good grief, Griff says, do you have to look like a scrawny kid with telekinetic powers like that, dude? No, I'll accept all forms of schizophrenia. If you're like a fat redneck, I'll take it. If you're a fat hipster, I'll take it. But you have to mean mug. Like you have to look like you're psychotic and on the verge of doing a mass shooting. That's the only criteria. I do not care what you physically appear like, as long as you look like you're on the verge of a schizophrenic break that's going to result in violence.
Everybody, this has been the culture where Trump is.
No, still dodging again. They're being cute because they know they had to dodge for the first 20 minutes in reference to Epstein, and now they have to dodge in reference to sweeping for speech speech codes.
Real quick.
Weirdly enough, I think that Tim Pool actually likes Pisco. Like, look at this. He was thinking, I showed you guys last time when Tim Pool was fighting Alex Stein. He had this like similar face. He was fighting Will Chamberlain. And Pisco got a good dunk in that was actually like super solid and kind of vicious. And Tim had this exact look of like happiness, but also love. Like, I think Tim Pool genuinely loves Pisco as an anti-hero. I really do.
Real quick, so let's go.
Sudi, can I get a beer? I don't think they have Bud, but it says like
I'd love a beer too.
Is there like a waitress?
Something?
Holy shit. Man, drinking beer and fucking talking shit about politics would be awesome.
Is there a waiter or waitress that can
I would like a bottle of Hennessy.
How do we order one?
Let's
Dracaris became a new member. Thank you, King. Quick shill time. Like the stream. Share it with your friends. If you're having a good time, tell them that you had a good time and invite them to hang out and chat. If they're like a normal chatter for another streamer and you think they would have a better time here, tell them that you had a better time here. Watch the VODs, comment on the VODs, like the VODs, and then also super chats if you got them, memberships if you got them. You guys have been so generous this week. It's impossible for me to thank you enough. Not only on Friday did we have like a pretty like average viewer day, we were around like 100 or something like that, but just everybody in chat was just given endlessly. And then this week, not only did we hit channel highs as far as viewership, we also had channel highs as far as donations. You guys have been incredibly generous to the channel, both with your time, your attention, your viewership, your comments, all that kind of stuff. So I just want to thank you. This is my dream job. Waking up and chatting shit about politics and talking shit about people I hate for hours at a time. This is my dream job. I love it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do it. I think I'm going to be able to do this full time in perpetuity. But let's say some emergency thing happens. Let's say I get cancer and I have to get like a big boy job. So I have big boy health insurance or something like that. I want to thank you for allowing me to do it even temporarily. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Let's segue to the hard issues, the hard facts. Border security. Trump says zero. They're reporting zero. He even said, I don't believe that number is really low, but the border, by all metrics, it does appear to be secure. There is a possibility that this will be the first net negative migration month. As an agenda item of the Trump voters and for the Trump administration, that is winning.
Yeah, so let's address the border, right? I don't give Trump credit for doing like illegal shit to get the border numbers down. And so
illegal shit.
True.
Yeah, illegal shit. Illegal shit. So for example, because
deporting illegals is illegal now?
No. So I don't give credit. I'll repeat it again. You guys can say it if you want. I don't give credit for someone getting border numbers down, border crossings down, by doing illegal shit.
The guy in the suit is Alex Stein. He's basically a right-wing comedian and shit poster. Unork says start a new channel called Pints and Politics. Dude, I would love to. And Pisco should do it, although he's up in New York, so I'd have to move. AF Racing for $5 says, in case you get cancer. Thank you. Kay says, if you get cancer, we will allow you to go get a job, Cotter. If you get cancer, we will crowdfund for you. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah. So for example, illegal renditions without due process to seek caught, that's illegal shit. Closing asylum down, as was found by a district court, I think a couple weeks ago. The same thing that Biden did, by the way, which I critique. I said it was impeachable when Biden did it in contravention of the asylum statutes and the Immigration Nationality Act. That's illegal shit that he's doing. And there you see it. If you disagree, they want to use the powers of the state against.
Bro, he's joking.
I know, but like it's part of that. It's part of.
Randy Jenks' comedian says Alex Stein broadens the definition of the word. He does have funny things where he goes to, I think he's in Texas. He goes to the Plano, which is outside of Dallas. He goes to the Plano city council meetings and he acts like a total sociopath. And I actually got a few chuckles from the way that he was acting because he did like slam poetry and rap songs. Connor, is your preference, would you be engaging in more or less panels? The same. I would like to do like a panel a week, 2 panels a week. I like debates. Oh, shit. I forgot that I was supposed to be talking to somebody. Rocky. God damn it. I forgot I was supposed to be talking to somebody at 1 p.m. Lol.
That I think just classic authoritarian.
All right, well, look, I'll give you this.
I don't give him credit for that.
You're joking authoritarian, sir.
We're gonna retitle.
No authoritarian jokes, please.
We're gonna retitle the name of the show to "Is Trump Winning Legally?" That way we can keep going. Otherwise, we all agree Trump won.
It's funny he says no authoritarian jokes when he literally wants to ban certain speech he doesn't like on campus. You act like you're the free speech guy.
That's total horseshit, you fucking liar.
Wait, you just said I don't give a shit about free speech on campus. Anti-Semitism.
You jumped over to campus.
We should stomp that out.
Why did it jump to campus?
Okay, so
why are you guys so concerned about fucking illegal aliens? Like your priorities are so backwards. There's some pedophile out there who's fucking sex trafficking, and you go, we need due process.
Okay,
he needs to go to court. We have 30 million illegals.
So
Trump has supported like 14,000 or something. Not even close to Obama number. Will you shut up, please?
You can't talk shit about pedophiles anymore.
Will you shut the fuck?
True. Let me see if I can get Rocky or Untrodden on the call. Sorry, I was supposed to do this an hour ago, and I already screwed it up earlier in the week, so I feel like an asshole.
Fuck up.
That's
Why
done with
can't
this.
someone talk?
So you just granted.
Okay, well, let him make a point.
Welcome to the blabbermouth hour.
Yeah, I mean, like you just granted there was a win for Trump on pedophile cover-up, and now you're saying that like we're
not pedophile. 16-year-olds is just gross.
Nice. Sweeping for the ephebophilia. Nice. Ignoring the 14-year-old recruitment, ignoring the 15-year-old recruitment. I think there was a victim as young as 13. Ignoring the alcohol, ignoring the grooming, ignoring the modeling agencies. He just says, oh, it's just a bunch of 16-year-olds, you know? Having sex with 16-year-olds is gross. Nice sweep, Gavin, you gross fuck. Wow, that's actually like, this is evil shit. Dude, this is why I'm not. This has nothing to do with me. Okay. This has nothing to do with me. I was raised social conservative, meaning that I think that like adults should be largely in heterosexual monogamous relationships. If you're homosexual, God bless you. You do you. Just don't be so promiscuous that you do hard drugs and catch random diseases. I think that if you try to fuck somebody under the age of 18, you're probably trying to abuse them because you know that they're emotionally and mentally immature. If you try to fuck somebody under the age of 12, I think you're a pedophile and you should probably be murdered. Not murdered. I think you should be like chemically castrated and or executed. And then, yeah, I can't believe Gavin just swept for that. I can't believe he just swept for it. That's actually embarrassing to me. That's embarrassing that is a now normal part of the right wing is sweeping for pedophilia. It's fucking evil. So, yeah. Have a good day, Connor in chat, except for Ogre Boy. True. All right. I parasocially love you guys. Mwah.